All right, sixth grade, 14.5, talking about sets. In this text, you have studied several sets of numbers. We've studied natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, and real numbers. But a set doesn't always have to be composed of numbers. Any group of objects, from a group of students to a collection of furniture or art or stamps or baseball caps, forms a set. Okay, so start off with a definition. A set is a collection or group of objects. An element of a set is an object that is contained in the set. So the objects that are contained inside of a set we call elements. Sets are named with capital letters and expressed using braces, which are not like parentheses. They're the ones that look like this. And it's okay if you can't do them perfectly, just do your best, okay? The set braces, these, mean the set whose elements are. So that means I would read this right here as set A, or A is the set whose elements are 1, 2, and 3. You can specify a set by either listing its elements or describing the elements. For example, we have two set G's right here. First one, we have G is the set including the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. That is a description of the set. Then we have a list of set G, which if the description of set G is the 4 Gospels in the New Testament, then the elements would be Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are the objects within the set. So description of set G is the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. The list of set G is the actual elements, which is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Example number 1, specify the set by listing the elements. So we have set J, and we have a description here, and it's the months of the year that begin with J. So what we're going to do is we're going to write J, capital J, because that's how we denote sets. Capital J is, and what are the months of the year that begin with J? January, and I'm just going to use abbreviations right now, although it really doesn't matter, June and July. Okay, January, June, and July. There's the months of the set list, or the months of the year that begin with J listed. Okay, example number 2 says specify the set by giving a description. So in set C, we're given the numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. And we need to say, what are all these numbers elements of? What do they have in common that we could group them together as a set? Now, could you just say numbers? Well, sure, but that's not specific enough. What do these 5 numbers have particularly in common? Well, they are the first 5 prime numbers. So we would describe the elements of set C as the first 5 prime numbers. Okay, skill check number 1 says describe the elements of M. So we're given these 3 elements of set M, January, February, and March. What could we call that set, or how could we describe that set? M as a description would be the first 3 months of the year. Okay, then we have number 2 says list the elements of set D, and set D says the days of the week. So what we're going to do is we're going to write D is equal to the days of the week. And we're going to write all 7 because we want to have a complete set. And there's listing out set D by its elements. Okay, now we have a couple symbols specific to sets. The first one looks kind of like this squished E or a C kind of with a line through it, okay? This symbol means is an element of. Then we have that same symbol, that kind of squishy looking E or C with a line through it, and then we draw this negating line through the middle, okay? This symbol means is not an element of, okay? If you see empty braces or this circle with a line through it, it means what we call the empty set, okay? Consider set B, okay? B is described as the biblical characters living on earth today. So you tell me what the elements of that set would be, the biblical characters living on earth today. Hopefully you're sitting there saying, I'm a little confused because there are none. Okay, there are no biblical characters living today. So we have no elements to put in that set. So that would be the empty set, or you could write it like this. Now, sometimes people call that empty set the null set, N-U-L-L. We're going to just call it the empty set for the sake of this class right now. But just know that if you see the word null set, that's what that means, okay? So example number 3 gives us set F. And we have the elements listed in set F as -14, -3, 0, 7, and 8. And the instructions say tell whether this is true or false. So let me read A to you. What A says is -3 is not, because that's what this symbol means, is not an element of F. So what we do is we look at set F, we look at the elements that are there, and we say, is -3 there? Well, yes, it is. So -3 is an element of F. So would this statement, -3 is not an element of F, be true or false? That would be false, because -3 definitely is an element of F. I see it. It's right here. Okay, how about B? B says 7 is an element of F. 7 is an element of F. Okay, so we look at the set. We say, is 7 listed in that set? Yes, it is. It's right here. So 7 is an element of F. That is true. Last one says 3 is not an element of F. We look at our set, we see -14, -3, 0, 7, and 8. I don't see 3, so that is a true statement. 3 is not an element of F. It is not listed in set F. Okay? Skill check number 2, true or false. Okay, number 1, January is not an element of M. So set M is the first 3 months of the year. January is not an element of M. That is false, because January absolutely is in one of the first 3 months of the year, okay? Number 2 says Monday is an element of D. Set D is the days of the week. Is Monday a day of the week? It sure is. So that is true, okay? Last definition that we need, okay, as we move throughout this section, is this idea of something being well-defined, or a set being well-defined. And we say a set is well-defined when the members of the set are easily or readily determined. This is best explained through some examples. So example number 4 says, is the set well-defined? D, the days of the week. Can you easily determine what the days of the week are? Yes. No one's going to argue with you when you say the days of the week are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Mr. Wilkening is shaking his head at me right now. He knows his days of the week, okay? So, yeah, actually, right now, no one knows what day it is. I don't know what day of the week it is. But days of the week are well-defined. We know what the days of the week are. So we would say, yes, this set is well-defined, okay? How about set E over here that says the best day of the week? Now, my best day of the week, okay, is Friday. I love Fridays because I love the anticipation of the weekend. I love staying up a little bit later on Friday night knowing that I get Saturday to just kind of relax and chill Sunday, I'm thinking already about Monday. Saturday, I'm thinking about how Sunday I'm going to have to think about Monday. So I just love Fridays. I think the best day of the week is Fridays. Not everyone thinks like me. Other people might think Mondays are the best day of the week because they like the fresh start that comes. Sorry, guys, I accidentally stopped recording myself. So I was in the middle of talking about the best day of the week. Here's the end of the story, okay? We cannot say that the set best day of the week is well defined because that purely is based on opinion, okay? So best day of the week, nope, okay? That is an undefined set, okay? Now, skill check number 3, well-defined versus not well-defined, okay? Number 1, G is girls in your classroom, okay? If we were all sitting together in our math class right now, would the set of girls in the classroom be well-defined? Yes, we would be able to point out, count, say the names of the girls in the classroom. So yes, this is a well-defined set. Number 2, set T, tall boys in school. This is not a well-defined set because we don't have tall defined, okay? If the set said boys that are 5'3" and taller, we could define that set, okay? But this says tall boys. What's tall to me might not be tall to someone else, okay? What's tall to Elise, okay, is not necessarily what is tall to Sam Barry, all right? So this is not a well-defined set. And that is the end of this lesson.